Hello. I hope you guys can hear me. I think I always start my live streams like that because I genuinely don't know if you can hear me. So if you cannot hear me, let me know. Um, but today I wanted to update you guys on something. So let's get nice and close and cozy. Um, I'm getting cozy. Okay, so you guys are going to see this in the next episode. It's going to come out in a few days. It's not going to come out on Saturday. I'm not changing my schedule. It's just delays in life and stuff. I still haven't edited it. Edited it. Um but it's going to come out. This is making me very itchy. So I'm going to take that off. The next episode is going to come out within the next few days, and you guys are going to see why I'm talking about this right now on the episode. But I said I would give you guys an update, and you guys are not going to know why I'm giving you the update right now until you see the episode, of course. But so, as you guys may or may not know, I have merch, okay? And as you guys may or may not know, I was supposed to be sending Calf, one of my subscribers, merch. It was a gift. It's not like I'm selling it like third hand, like I'm getting cheaper rates through my merch store and then selling it for more profit or whatever. It's nothing like that. It's a gift. I'm trying to give my very loyal subscriber a gift. I'm sure if you guys have gone into the comment section of every single one of my videos up until I started uploading podcast episodes, you will see Kath there, right? And Kath, the reason why I'm doing this for her is because she has stated often that she has some trouble using technology. No shade, okay? I don't mean this in a mean way. But, I wanted to do something nice for her because she's always in my comments. And I really appreciate that. So I wanted to send her a full package of all of the merch that I offer on my merch store. So what I did was I ordered samples because I thought, I am going to order samples for myself, and then whatever, is left, I can just gift it to Kath and send it over to her. So I also thought it was gonna be cheaper because on Redbubble, I'm pretty sure you can order samples, and the samples that they send you are cheaper in price. Or like, it's not Redbubble, it's Barnes and Noble that you can do that, and Amazon, um, Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP. You can order samples on there and they will be at a discounted rate. So I was thinking, well, I'm just going to order like a sample, right? Because it's going to be at a discounted rate, because it's supposed to be me as the creator trying it out to make sure that the quality is good, to make sure that the shipping rates are good, right? It's not supposed to be me like selling it. It's not like I ordered like 100 samples for a discounted rate. It's just like I just ordered one of each, right? Well, sometimes two of each because I also ordered samples for myself. But for the most part, it's just one of each. Um, so I ordered these back in the beginning of July. The sticker and the mug came surprisingly fast. Actually, the mug came the fastest. I think it came either right before we left for vacation or right after we had returned from vacation. And that was like 2 to 4 weeks after I first ordered it. And I thought the mug would take the longest, right? The next thing to come was the sticker, which I've said before, the sticker is like this big. It's a really big sticker. I was like pricing it, and it was super expensive, and I was wondering, like, why is it so expensive for a sticker that's gonna be this big? Turns out it's a sticker that's, like, this big. It's the size of my face. So, it's a really big sticker. Still a little bit, like, I would rather get a cheaper rate on the stickers and have them be smaller because that big of a sticker, like, where are you gonna put it type of thing, but, you know, to each their own, I guess. Um, so the sticker was the second thing to come in, then the shirts, and then this sweatshirt. And the last thing that I'm still waiting for, mind you, this was ordered all together in the beginning of July. The thing that I'm still waiting for is the tote bag. It's still in printing. Like if I go and I check the website, like the order status, you can see it says it's still printing. So it's not still printing and hasn't even started printing yet. They've received the order and it's just been sitting there. So what I did was I sent them an email, and this is what I'm going to talk about in the episode. I sent them an email and I was like, "Hey, I still have not received my tote bag." Because my whole thinking, right, is I'm going to send this all together. I don't want to send like, "Oh, here's the mug first, and then, oh, I'm gonna send the sticker in an envelope, and then, oh, I'm gonna send the shirt, and then I'm gonna send the sweatshirt." Um, I wanted to send it all in one package so that I wouldn't have to like be paying every single time for every single item, right? The tote bag is still not here. I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna send this out end of August at the latest. It is almost the end of October. It's halfway through October. I still have not received the tote bag. So, I sent them the email and I'm like, I'm still waiting for the tote bag. And they said, don't worry, we will get back to you within 24 hours, right? It was an automated email that I got that was like, we're gonna reply to you within the next 24 hours. They sent me an email within the next 24 hours. It was another automated email being like, we'll get back to you within 24 hours. That was October 15th. Or actually October 14th. It is now October 17th, the last business day. They still have not replied. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be looking for a different merch company, and I'm going to have to go in and manually like change everything, all of my descriptions, both on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, here on YouTube. I'm going to have to manually change them to my new merch store whenever I find that, because yeah, it's ridiculous shipping times, and it's like I get it, right? I'm a smaller creator. I don't think I've received orders on my merch store. Like, I haven't received, besides myself, I haven't gotten any orders, right? But the fact that they're making me wait that long for a tote bag, and then I had some of my neighbors interested in that merch, and I cannot, like, in good conscience, recommend my merch store when I'm not sure that those shipping times are normal shipping times for customers, right? Like, my thought process is that the shipping time is taking that long because they believe that I'm going to turn around and sell it. So they're making it like extra long shipping times to make sure that I don't like turn around and sell it and make a business out of something that's should be just like their business, right? But I'm not sure of that, and that's why I tried to email them, right? And ask them like, "Hey, is this a normal shipping time for you guys? Or like what's going on? Like, is the tote bag just delayed because of, um tariffs and stuff like that? Like, is that why the tote bag is being delayed? Specifically the tote bag. Like in my head I was thinking the tote bag is going to be super easy to just, it's just something that you print and then you ship it out, right? It's not even in printing, like it's not even in production yet. So that for sure is throwing me off and making me like wonder like what is going on? Why are they taking forever to send me my stuff? Because like I said, it's not something that I'm going to turn around and make a business out of because like I don't know, and I feel like if people did order like off of their website to then turn around and sell it and make a business out of it, well, number one, the lack of discounted rates is it's like it's not worth it, right? It's not like I could go to Barnes and Noble and order like because Barnes and Noble, you guys know I have a bullet journal published on there. The bullet journal is for $24, I think. 24 to $30. The discounted rate for me is $14. So that's $10 less, obviously. I'm losing the ability to do quick math. But it's $10 less. So I could go to Barnes and Noble and order like 10 copies of my book and save $100 and then sell it for $34, right? And then make an extra $100 in profit. But they offer the discounted rates, so it's possible to do that. Spring Tea does not offer discounted rates, so it's not worth it to be doing that. Like, I paid full price for samples of my merch. Samples again. So it's like already their system should like detect, oh, this person is not trying to sell. Because also, I ordered one of each. I ordered two of the shirts. That's it. But I ordered one of each because I'm gonna send it to Calf. I'm not gonna like sell it. It's a gift, right? But I ordered one of each and then I ordered two shirts and I mean that's not enough quantity to be going around like setting up my own store, right? And like putting up my own boutique. It's not I should like and that's what I'm thinking like their system should have detected that I'm not going to sell their stuff for my profit because I didn't order like 100 of each. It's just like baffling to me. So I'm wondering like is it uh like discrimination type of thing where they're seeing that I'm a smaller merch store and that's why they're like, this can wait. But then they've already sent me most of the stuff. All I need is the tote bag. So then I'm thinking like, well, is it like a material type of issue where they're like the tariffs and restrictions and everything put on, I don't know, China. Maybe that's affecting their supply chain, and that's why the tote bag is taking forever. Um, but yeah, I like the whole point of me emailing them was to ask them to see like, hey, what's going on? Like, is it a supply chain issue? Like, should I just remove the tote bag from my store and then that way you guys won't have any issues ordering? Like, if you order the tote bag, it's not going to be something that you're going to be waiting months to receive. Or is it like truly they're just putting it off because I like that was my first ever order, right? Um But because of their customer service, it is looking more and more likely like I'm going to have to uh, leave. And, I actually just got an email and it's spam email. So, um, no luck there. Yeah, and I haven't received any. Nope. The only emails that I've received are the "we'll get back to you in 24 hours." So, it's been more than 24 hours. And at this point, if they do get back to me, it's probably not going to be until like after Monday. So I'm gonna have to wait the weekend, like, and wait even longer for them to get back to me. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna start looking for new merch stores and see if they are able to accommodate my needs. And, if I do, I'm going to go through it. You guys are going to be able to find my merch store on a different website, probably with different things. I don't want to go to Redbubble. Let me check it right now. Redbubble. Because they do have um, a lot of stuff, right? Like for clothing, let's see. They have oversized t-shirts, boxy t-shirts, hoodies, oversized hoodies, oversized sweatshirts, kids clothes. Um they have dresses, they have bucket hats, accessories, socks. They have a lot of stuff. But the problem with Redbubble is that there's also a lot of AI like scrapers on there. So they're just like looking out for any, because Redbubble is supposed to be for independent artists, right? So there's a lot of like creativity on there, or there's supposed to be a lot of creativity on there. However, in recent years, it's turned into AI slot machine, right? Where if you browse, um, let's see, let's go to explore. Like, there's this one that, well, you guys cannot see it, but immediately the first like three, I'm like, well, that's AI. And then there's also a lot of stickers that are like stolen from like big corporations. There's a lot of copyright infringement on there. And so I don't want to be part of that, right? I don't want to give, like, I don't want to encourage you guys to give them your hard earned money. Does that make sense? So that's why it's even more of like a Redbubble's kind of like a last resort. But yeah. Also, I look very sick. It's just because I did not get enough sleep last night. And for some reason, my nose is doing this thing. I talk about it on the episode as well, or maybe the after show. I can't remember. But my nose has started doing this thing where it'll like start getting stuffy when I talk too much. And it becomes really annoying because it becomes difficult to breathe. So my nose is very weird. But yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at myself. But so that's the update on my merch situation. And there is also another thing that I'm stressed about, which is I was gonna send Kristen a package, and I did, but it got lost on the way there. So it was like double, like my merch isn't coming in, and then I got this other package that got lost. Then I asked for a refund, and they said I was past the time for a refund. And so then I was like, well, how was I supposed to know that I had to claim a refund within 60 days, right? Like, because I was thinking they're not going to accept it before the 60 days because they have to have the time to like find it and stuff. So like, I guess I just gave them too much of a benefit of the doubt kind of thing, where it was like, well, I'm just gonna wait and see if they find it. And then they couldn't find it. And so then when I went, apparently it was too late. So it's a whole situation that just has me very stressed. So yeah. Um, let's see, what else is there to talk about? I think that those are all the updates that I have thus far. Um, so I'm gonna get to editing my podcast episode, and then that'll go up within the next few days. Again, it's not because I'm changing my schedule, it's just because I just have not edited it. I filmed it a couple of days ago, and I've just been, busy, so have not been able to edit it. And then we spent all day today out and about, um, running errands as well. So today was also not a good day to edit. Um, well, tonight will be a better time to edit. But yeah. You guys are also getting a spoiler of what my new background looks like. So that's also very exciting. And also, my closet door is open right now because my room is a mess. I have been trying to remodel it and, do all that, but I still haven't gotten around to it. I got around to a little bit and then I stopped. That's actually a recurring theme with me, and something that I talk about on the next episode as well is that I do things 50% of the way, and then after the 50%, I kind of stop and I don't do anything. So, um, yeah, I still have a lot to do with all this organization stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's not a lot. Like, it's not an unbearable amount where I'm like, ugh, I just cannot do it by myself. But it is just something where I'm like, these days I'm feeling a little bit too tired to be doing that. So instead of doing that, I take breaks. uh, but yeah. Um, let me see, what else is there to talk about? I do have finally an after show for um this episode, so that's gonna be exciting. Not exciting, but like newsworthy, I guess. Because I have not put out an after show in quite some time. I have, I talked about this on the episode, and I think it's gonna go on the episode, not on the after show, but um, I have a lot of ideas for the after show, especially for a previous episode that's, my gosh, the previous episodes that I did not get to do an after show for. Um, so that's something that I still need to do. But my filming times are not enough. Because I really only get 2 hours to film. So then when I do film, I usually focus on main episode and not the after show because oftentimes like um my brothers will return, like my brother will return home from work, or my other brother will return home from school, and they're like right next to me so they can hear what I'm saying. And also, when they do stuff, then you can hear it in the episode or whatever, maybe like the microphone picks it up because my brother that way next to the wall where I record is particularly loud. Like his room, whenever he walks to exit his room or to enter his room, you start hearing all of these creaks, and those creaks are loud enough to get picked up by the microphone. So, yeah, it does become very like time constraint type of thing. Um, so that's another thing where it's like another limitation. Um, and then I also like I said, I also have to fix my room and like adjust it and stuff. So it's even more like limited time that I have for filming, editing, planning, that kind of stuff. So, but hopefully soon I can get it together and not have to worry about having to clean my room. It's going bit by bit. Every day I do a little bit here, a little bit there. Um, like I'm done organizing my clothes. I'm done with my background. Um, I still need to organize like my makeup and stuff. And then I need to move my desk back to where it used to be way back last year, way back in the day of 2024, early 2025. I don't know if you guys remember where my head was, like right here. Right there. um and yeah, and now I'm over here because my desk has been moved this way. So I need to get it back there and closer to the wall. And then I need to get my bookshelf back to where it was. And then I have also, I was telling my mom this, I have a lot of stuff that I just don't know what to do with. And this was actually going to go in an episode that I was going to release about underconsumption, but I never ended up releasing that episode because I said in a community post that the episode that I filmed, I was very like rushed. It felt like I was very like I have to get this information out now, right? And so it was um me just talking really fast, and when I talk really fast, my speech impediment really gets in the way. Guys, I just found out that I have a speech impediment. Not one, not two, but three. So the first one I feel like is the one that you can hear the most, which is that I have a lisp. You can hear it whenever I say lisp, right? And very sharp S's too. And that often I do, like before when I had my previous microphone and when I was recording on my desk and I had like the microphone very close to my face, I had to download Audacity to like remove that, and I couldn't, like it was so sharp that Audacity couldn't get rid of the S sharpness. That's because my bottom teeth are crooked, and so a lot of the noise, um, especially when I do S sounds, they come out very sharp, right? And the next one is that I cannot say my R's very well. Uh, and this pops up more when I'm speaking Spanish, but sometimes it does sound like I have a different accent than the one that I do. Um, and then so the other one that I found out recently, and I found this out by watching my home videos, is that I this particular speech impediment, I'm assuming was caused by me still having like a binky, like a pacifier, up until the age of like 3, right? And I could not speak well at all when I was 3. Like some kids, they will start to like move their mouths to speak because you know when they're babies, they're like ah, right? And they don't really have a lot of mouth movement to be making noises. Well, my mouth, when I was speaking, when I was younger, stayed like my jaw was clenched. Like I was speaking through clenched teeth. And this was like up until I turned 5, where every like now you can see that my, my jaw can move and I can move my mouth more when I'm speaking, but back from the ages of like 2 to 5, because I had like my pacifier so much and I would drink from baby bottles up until I was 5, um a lot of my speech was like dish and it was very high pitched, and my parents didn't like correct me, if that makes sense. Like they learned to understand what I was saying instead of being like, you need to open your mouth and you need to enunciate. Um, and I realized like that is a speech impediment because oftentimes that is the reason why I have to trash episodes. It's because I don't open my mouth enough. And so a lot of my speech comes out very slurred. Um, and very like not understandable at all. And so I don't notice it until I'm going back and I'm editing stuff and I'm like, "Wait, this is crazy. How do I even talk like this? Like how is this even possible?" So I have to go back and I have to like make the executive decision of this episode is not going up. Like um there was uh a point in time where I recorded a few episodes outside, and I recorded them outside because uh, something was going on in my room. Either my siblings were around, and I didn't want them to hear me because I was talking about like stuff like relationship and stuff. Um, Something along those lines. And then also I just thought like it would be kind of fun to have a different recording location. Um, but I was outside and I was able to get 2 episodes from that. But I recorded 3 episodes. And the third episode, because it was getting dark, I had to like rush through. So I had like my notes and I was reading off of my notes. But because I was trying to go super fast, my jaw stayed in place and it was very, very bad. And like you could not understand a word that I was saying. So that's what happened to the underconsumption episode, is that you could not understand a word that I was saying. I was very out of breath for some reason. I don't know why. I do have asthma, right? And like I shared, I'm currently struggling with my nose, feeling like it's, I don't know, getting like blocked up or something. Um, and it only happens when I talk for a while, if that makes sense. Um, so it's, yeah. 1 minute. Let me catch my breath. Because, like I said, it is, my nose is getting a little blocked up. I don't know why that happens. Um, but yeah, for the underconsumption episode, I was out of breath. You couldn't understand a word that I was saying. And then also, like, I was just in a very bad mood. I'm not sure why. I don't know. I don't remember, like, what was happening around that time that I was recording that. But yeah, I was in a very bad mood. And so it was just like a negative episode. Like the script was not negative, just like my attitude in the episode was very like eyes rolling, that kind of thing. Like, ugh, can you believe? Right? Um, and so because I was in a bad mood, immediately after I finished filming it, I already, like, as I was filming it, I already was like, this is probably not gonna go up. Um, but I immediately after I finished recording it, I went to edit it. And I was editing it and I was like, there's no way that this video is going up. So I like, because I was in a bad mood, I deleted not only the recording, but I also deleted all of the TikToks that I was going to show, and I deleted the script. So for the next day when I woke up in a better mood, I was like, oh, no worries, I'll just refilm it. Right? And I went to my computer and I was like, let me find the script. Wait, where is the script? And come to find out it's been trashed. Um, and it's the kind where you trash it and then you go into your recently deleted and you delete it there too. So there was no way of me recovering that script. And same thing with the TikToks that I saved to show you guys. There was no way that I was recovering those. So I was like, okay, oh well, time to post a community update, right? Um, so yeah. Whereas the other one, the one that I filmed outside, that one, I did delete the footage, but I did not delete the TikToks that I was gonna use. So that ended up being good because I could refilm it and have more like better things to say. I was gonna say more mature, but really it's just like few months difference, right? So it's not necessarily more mature, though. And you guys will see this in the next episode. I do feel like I have been maturing almost at like an unprecedented rate for me. Um, and I feel like it's because I'm closer to turning 25 and the age where my prefrontal cortex develops, and also the willingness that I have nowadays to take more accountability for that kind of stuff, right? Because I'm able to now look back on a lot of the stuff that I did back in the day and be like, that actually was not cool of me to do, right? Whereas I feel like before I would have been like, no, I was justified, or like justifying myself by thinking about my age. Like there's a lot of things that I did like in elementary school or in like middle school, high school that were not okay for me to do. And before I would have been like, well, that doesn't count because I was just a kid, right? It's just like what kids do, right? Type of boys will be boys type of defense. Um, because when people use that defense, it usually means like the boys won't take accountability because it's just what boys do, right? That's the kind of defense that I was using on myself. Like, it's just what kids do. It's just the nature of being a kid. Um, and so yeah, you guys are seeing in real time like what happens when I film an unscripted episode. These are parts where I usually cut them out and like, oh, there's a spot where I'm thinking, time to cut that out and make the episode shorter. So this is you guys are getting firsthand, unedited type of podcast episode. It's not even a podcast episode because for podcast episodes, I'm usually more prepared. Like I have a theme. Today I do not have a theme, and I am letting my ADHD guide me through the thoughts. But what was I saying? Um Oh, yeah, before I would've been like, "It's just what kids do," like, "Oh, well, it is what it is," but nowadays, I'm like, "No, that actually it's not what kids do, and I should have known better." But, like, at the same time, I'm also able to, like, understand why I didn't know better, because oftentimes, the mistakes that I made as a kid were not out of, like, malicious intent. And I actually saw a TikTok about this, and maybe I will talk about it in the future, but um we always, like, as a society, we always teach, like, make sure you don't bully people, bullying is bad, but we never teach what bullying looks like, right? So there's a lot of kids out there like me who were bullies, and they had no idea that they were bullies because they don't understand what bullying actually looks like. And I'm lucky in the sense that I was able to reflect back on that and be like, no, I absolutely was a bully because those actions that I took, those things that I said were bully behavior. But at the time, I saw myself as a hero because I was thinking, like, this isn't bullying, this is me looking out for people. Um, and so yeah, I mean, because oftentimes, like, in the movies, we also see bullying depicted as, like, shoving people up against a locker and, like, calling them nerds and losers and, feeling superior to everyone and showing that in your actions. And oftentimes it's like the mean girls or the mean, like, girl bullies will, call you ugly and make fun of your braces and make fun of your glasses and tell you that you need a makeover. That's the kind of depiction of bullies that we see in the media, especially with girls. So I was thinking, like, I'm not doing any of that. So I'm not a bully, right? But what I was doing was I was doing bully behavior. I was talking badly behind people's backs. I was I mean, not even behind people's backs. But it all felt justified because I was thinking, well, the girl that I'm doing this to is that archetype, right? She was the kind of, like, popular girl that would do her makeup and that would, have a lot of friends. And those are the type of girls that get depicted in movies as bullies. So I was thinking, well, she's the bully, not me. Because I'm not popular. I don't wear makeup. I'm not like I don't have money like she does, right? So in my head, it was like the justified thing, but nowadays I'm able to like look back on that and be like, I really had no reason to be doing that. Like, because she was nothing but nice, and it was like very misinformed uh decision out of me to be doing that. Because again, it's what, and I talk about this in the episode, but I was very, very sheltered as a child. And this is just proof that I was very sheltered as a child because I thought, well, any popular girl that wears makeup to school is a bully. Duh, everybody knows that. Because it's like the media that I watched. That's the only reason why I thought that. It wasn't like lived experience. It wasn't like, oh, my cousins told me about this mean girl who wears makeup and bullies them. It was just like, well, the movies say that that's what bullies look like, so clearly it must be true. Um, so yeah. So I'm able to like, my point is, I'm able to look at that and be like, I understand where that thought process was coming from and where I got that thought process. Most definitely, I do understand that. It was still wrong of me to do though, right? And that's kind of what I've been going through. Especially since I've been watching the home videos, I've been able to be like, I understand how I did like the 2 plus 2. I understand that, but the end result, like, I got 4, but I got 4 by doing multiplication instead of addition, right? Um, that kind of thing. So it's still like wrong. I'm still learning the wrong lessons, but I'm able to like think back and be like, okay, I can follow my thought process and follow what I thought was good and understand how I got to that conclusion, but the conclusion is still not okay, right? Or like my equation, although it leads to the answer, is not, the variables have no reason to be in the equation at all. So, if we remove the variables, the answer is wrong. Um, that's essentially what I've been learning and trying to like forgive myself for, yes, but also like take that into account as I mature and grow older and as I like interact with my siblings, and as I like think about like, well, if I have kids in the future, like how am I going to prevent them from making the same mistakes? How can I raise them to not be sheltered so that they come to similar conclusions that I did? Because I do blame a lot of my mistakes on me being sheltered. So it's a lot that I've been, thinking about and wondering like, how do I change this for the future? Right? And like, even if I don't have kids, which it is the plan to have kids, even if I don't have kids, um any kids that I come across and interact with, I'm able to um take those lessons and like apply it to conversations, right? Like for example, recently we went to my brother's concert. It's like a school concert. And there was a girl that was being a bully. And you know what? She reminded me of me. In the sense that she was doing things just to like do them, right? But I could tell she didn't really think that she was doing anything bad. But from an outside perspective, I could see that her behavior was mean girl behavior for sure. So I called her out on it. I was like, "Hey, you're kind of a bully. Like, what are you doing?" And like her reaction, she tried to be like tough girl kind of thing. Like, not tough girl, but like feigning innocence, right? And being like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that I was bullied." But like I've spent enough time around people that I can see when someone like is putting on a front, especially with kids, because I've spent a lot of time with kids. Um I've been a babysitter. My siblings were a similar age once, and currently one of them is a similar age. So I can kind of not that I can read minds, but I most definitely can like pick up on some like patterns and be like, she's definitely feeling like insecure about it, right? Like she's trying to act like it didn't bother her that I called her out on it, but I can tell that it bothered her, at least to a certain extent, right? If not, it bothered her for sure, but what I couldn't tell is if it bothered her because she never thought of herself as a bully, which I'm hoping is why she looked bothered and why she looked like, yeah, why she looked like it my comment bothered her. But she could have also looked like that, like because she just didn't like when people call, like the kind of situation where she knows that she's a bully, but she hates being called out on it, right? I'm hoping it's the former because then that shows that she truly did not know that her actions were coming across as rude. Um, and hopefully she takes steps to fix that because I don't like it's very awful to be in the situation that I am now where it's like realizing years later, years after you've lost contact with all of those people that you went to school with, it does feel bad to recognize that you were mean to them and that you never will have the chance to apologize to them. And it's interesting also because we are in the age of social media and the age where you can find just about anyone on social media, but also we are in the age where there's a lot of privated like accounts. So in my case, there's a lot of accounts of people that like I know that I hurt in some way, but I can either no longer find them because they've gone off of social media or they've, because also I had a lot of like um uh not LGBTQ friends at the time, but they're LGBTQ now. Does that make sense? Like pre-LGBTQ friends. So also like there's probably some people that have changed their username and yeah. And that's not to say that like I was mean to them because of though okay, there was one instance. And again, it's because I was sheltered, but I've since apologized and I've since been like, you know what, I was very wrong for that. And I had no I didn't even know what a gay person was until you told me what a gay person was. Like, I'm so sorry, right? And so we've since, worked past that and she has forgiven me for that, but other people it's like I have either can't find them because they've either changed their name, whether that be like username or whether that be like they changed their name because they're now trans or they go by a different name kind of thing. Um Not they're now trans, but they always were trans, but now they're like have a different name. um or their account is just private and when I request to follow them, they don't reply back. Maybe they forgot me as a whole, right? And so they're like, who is this stranger trying to follow me? And the whole time I'm like, hey, do you remember me from elementary school? But no, so it does feel bad being like I can no longer apologize to you, and now I'm finally realizing how much hurt I caused you, right? And now that I that it's like a thing where like everybody's on social media, I cannot apologize to you because even though everybody's on social media, I cannot reach out to you. Right? Um so I've also been trying to live with that and like live with the fact that not everybody has to accept an apology, not everybody is ready to accept an apology. And again, it's not like I want to reiterate, it's not like I was pushing people against lockers. It's not like I was physically hurting people. It was just like mean comments that I made here and then that definitely were mean girl, but not like bully in the sense of like what's out there in the media, right? Like I was never calling anybody a loser or anything like that. It was just mean comments that I was making about them, either behind their backs or to their faces because I thought I was in the right. Um so yeah, and most likely if I am able to reach out to that person like the girl that again, it was not anything okay, I was gonna say it's not anything homophobic, but low key, it is homophobic. There was this girl who, came out to me as bisexual, and we were friends before she came out to me, right? And this was back in 7th grade. Again, no idea gay people exist. No idea what a bisexual person is. Um, but she obviously felt comfortable enough to come out to me, and so she comes out to me, and I'm like, "Did you have a crush on me? Is that why you're telling me?" Which, like, is homophobic for sure. But it's not like I was calling her slurs. It's just like, you know, like, yeah. So that's the girl that I reached out to, and I was like, "Hey, so I'm so sorry. I had no idea what a gay person was. I had no idea what a bisexual person was. Turns out I am now bisexual, just like you." And I can definitely understand how my comment came across as homophobic, and I'm so sorry. Like, I had no idea what I was talking about, and she was like, "It's like totally okay. To be honest, I forgot about it." Like, I didn't even remember that that happened until you reached out to me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So, I think that's most likely what's gonna happen if I do reach out to people and, like, apologize to them. They're probably gonna be like, "Bro, I didn't even remember that until just now." Um, but it is, like I'm saying, it is a thing where I've had to, like, accept that I was not as nice as a lot of the teachers were saying that I was, because there's a lot of teachers who let me get away with a lot of stuff because they saw a cute girl, right? They saw a cute little girl that was shorter than everybody else, that had chubby cheeks, and they were like, "Oh, she's just so cute. She's so adorable. She could never do anything wrong," right? And so I internalized all of that, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm so cute, I'm so innocent, I'm so adorable, I could never do anything wrong." And so then I'm having to, like, recognize that that mindset was what led me to lack that accountability of, like, "No, actually, I said some really mean things, and it like, that should not have been excused," right? So yeah, it definitely is. So I'm having to come to terms with that and having to, like, reframe that mindset of, like, I was an angel in school and I never did anything wrong. I was the perfect student. I'm having to reframe that while also getting comfortable with the idea that not everybody is going to forgive me, whether that be because I cannot reach out and apologize to them, or whether that be because I truly did, like, hurt them and it's something that they cannot, like, bring themselves to apologize, or not apologize, but to forgive me for, right? Um, so yeah, that is, like, something that I've, um and not just that, but like I said, like, a ton of other things where, as I'm watching home videos and as I'm understanding a lot of where my reasoning came from and why I did things the way that I did them outside and inside of school and just, like, life in general, I am having to like, reframe some of the things. Like, I was telling my siblings last night because we were watching home videos and we were kind of reminiscing on the past. And when I was growing up, so many, like, almost like feels illegal type, like, amount of people in my life were telling me that I was overweight and that I was fat and that I should lose weight. And this started from me as, like, a baby, like me in kindergarten type of thing. And I was telling them about, like, one specific incident that I remember also in elementary school where, I was with my friends, I thought they were my friends, um, and it was the beginning of 5th grade. I had, uh, met them in 4th grade. That was my first year attending that school, so I it was like we were all, Latina, so we all, like, formed a little group, and, in 4th grade, I was known as, like, a chubby student. And so I'm laughing because I'll get there, right? But I was known as a chubby student. So, summer comes around, I'm, very active, playing with my siblings, running around in the backyard. It's the first time that we have a backyard as big as the one that we had. So we were like running around front yard, backyard, like front yard and backyard, huge, right? And we were little kids, so it was even bigger to us. I'm sure if I go back now as an adult, I'll be like, well, it's not as big as I remember, right? But it was huge to us. Um, and so we were running around, we were going places, we were very active. And I came back to fifth grade being like, guys, I'm skinny now. And almost all of my friends were like, no, you're not. Matter of fact, you gained more weight. And there was only one friend that was like, "No, you do look a little bit skinnier, right?" Um, and so I was telling you about this, and then I was like, "But you know what? I've watched because I have videos of me from that age where I'm watching and I'm like, but where was the fat?" Right? And it's not even like me fat shaming and being like, I was so skinny type of thing. It was just like they and again, this was students, like students that I was friends with, and teachers and other adults in my life, like family members or family adjacent people, like friends of family type of thing, that were like, wow, you really need to lose weight. And I look back at those videos and I'm like, what weight? Like, what are you talking about? Right? And so that kind of thing I'm also having to like reframe and recognize that those people were on drugs. Like no tea, no shade, but like those people were on drugs. Like what are they talking about? Like actually. And also like to think about like cuz they were saying like you need to lose weight, you need to do exercise, you need to eat better at the age that I was in 4th and 5th grade and 6th grade and, like, before that, they kept telling me, like, "You need to work out, you need to lose weight, you need to exercise." I was very active, and it's just I'm sorry, it's just the way that I was built, like, it's just the way that my body is growing, right? Like, it's not again, like, it's not even, like yeah, it's just and so I started like unpacking that when I learned about medical racism. By the way, this is not like it sounds like I'm gonna cry. It's not. It's just my nose. Um but I started trying to like unpack this when I was learning about medical racism and how I was learning about how a lot of doctors will like when you go in to see them for a problem, if you look not skinny, they're gonna tell you, "Well, it's because you need to lose weight, you fat bitch," right? Um, so it I was starting to unpack that and starting to, like, wonder, well, how many of my doctors have told me, "You need to lose weight," when actually, like, I had a different problem, like, an underlying problem, like, I remember when I was in 7th grade? 7th, 8th, or ninth grade, we were well, okay, it started when I was in 7th grade. We were running the mile, right? That's a thing that you do. And I could not keep up because I kept having trouble breathing. Like my throat felt like it was on fire, my lungs felt like they were on fire. And it wasn't until ninth grade that I went to the doctor. Because before, like, I would tell my friends, like, guys, my lungs, like, they burn, like, I cannot run the mile completely. Like, I have to walk more than half of the mile. Like, I cannot run it completely. Um, and all of my friends, again, I thought they were my friends. They were like, well, it's just because you're a fat bitch. You need to lose weight. It's just because you don't exercise, you lazy fuck, right? Like, they kept, like, being really mean to me. Um, and so I internalized that and I was like, "Well, yeah, for sure, I need to do more exercise." And then I never did more exercise because I couldn't, right? It was like my that was my mom. I'm gonna end this stream soon. But yeah, so I couldn't do more exercise because, like I said, my throat felt like it was on fire, my lungs felt like they were gonna collapse, and so I finally went to the doctor in ninth grade when, again, we were trying to do the mile, and I could not do the mile. Like, I had to the teacher kept being like, "You need to run, you need to run," and I kept being like, "I can't, like, I need to walk because I cannot catch my breath, I feel like I'm gonna die." And so I told my mom, like, "Mom, you need to take me to the doctor because I don't know what's wrong. Like, genuinely, I feel like something's wrong with me. Maybe it is that I'm just lazy, and maybe it's just like a thing that it's like, oh, well, you can't run because you sit your butt on the couch all the time," which was factually untrue. Like I said, my siblings and I were very active. We had a very big backyard, very big front yard that we would constantly be playing it. The only time that we were sedentary, like living sedentary lifestyles, was when it was winter and like we couldn't play outside as much as we wanted to. So, and even then we were still like outside throwing snowballs at each other type of thing. Um, so to cut a long story short, right, I went to the doctor and she was like, "Oh, you have asthma. Like you've been struggling with this since, running the mile in PE whenever that starts. Even like the fitness thing that they make you do indoors where you do one lap and then you do, that back and forth thing. The ones who are in the United States know what I'm talking about. It's very awful. And it was very awful and traumatic for me to be like the slowest runner in class, but the only reason I was the slowest runner in class was not because I was lazy, it was because I had asthma. So, um, I've had to, like, think back to moments like that where, it was, like, me as a child, I was oh my god, you guys, I just remembered there was one girl in 5th grade who Um, I rode my bike to school. Again, an active type of thing, right? I rode my bike to school. I went to the back of the school to put my bike, lock it up. And so my friend greets me there and she looks at me and she's like, "Aw, are you having a boy or a girl?" And then I told her the same thing a different day. Cause you know what? Again, not to fat shame, not to body shame, she had a tummy just like I did. Okay. So I told her the same thing a different day. And she was like, you shouldn't tell people that because people are very insecure. Like, that's very rude of you to say." And I was like, "Bro, you told me the same thing a few days ago. What are you talking about? Like, if I'm rude, that makes you rude. Like, if I'm rude, what are you?" Right? But that was the kind of thing that I was facing as a child. And again, I was a very active child as much as I could with asthma, right? I was very active. And you know what, by the way, the asthma is genetic. Like my mom and my grandma and my aunt, they had to sleep in the same bed and they had to sleep with like herbs around them and like drink tea, like specialized tea because they also suffered from asthma. And my mom even like shares like she almost died of asthma. And it was just like they were in their sleep and their asthma was so bad that they would wake up and their lungs felt like it was on fire, right? So just like to think like I first of all had asthma. Not as bad as my mom or grandma had it, but, like, most definitely I had asthma to where, like, I physically could not run, and then to be told that I was lazy, that I was fat, that I didn't do enough exercise, and having to, like, internalize all of that and have that rule how I lived as not only a teenager, not only a child, but also an adult, right? To where now it's, like, traumatizing to think about doing exercise, which sounds kind of silly, but really, like, it makes sense, doesn't it? Like, your whole life, you're trying to do exercise, you're trying to better yourself, and the whole time that you're trying to better yourself, you're being met with, like, "You're just fat. Just, like, don't even try anymore, because like, truly, it's just because 'cause you're fat." Right? To now where it's like, "Well, I wish I could, like, I wish I had not I wish I didn't have asthma." It's, like, the crux of the argument, but in my brain, it's not the asthma that is to blame, it's me that is to blame, because 'cause I've internalized all of those comments, and again, I was getting comments left and right. I was getting comments from students, from teachers, from family members, from non-family members, from adults in the store that I didn't even know, and from my aunt who was living in Mexico who hadn't seen me in years, and she was telling me, "Hey, so your dad tells me that you're getting really fat and you're not getting any taller, so we need to work on that." And it was just like, "Yo, what?" Like, especially watching back those home videos and thinking like, "I wasn't even fat though." Like, what is everybody on about? Like, actually, like, what is everybody on about? So yeah, like I've been saying multiple times now, it's just been reframing those thoughts and reframing how I used to view myself and how I used to view myself, how that has then affected how I view myself now, and how that also has to change. But it's a hell of a lot harder to think about yourself positively than it is to think about yourself negatively. Like, I can recognize that all of these people were on drugs, on some kind of hallucinogens. Um, for calling me fat all my childhood. I can recognize that. But it's not as easy to internalize that. And it's not as easy to like heal from that. Like, I'm trying to heal my inner child and be like, "Girl, you are not fat. I don't know what everybody else is on about, but you're not fat." First of all, let's get that out of the way, right? That's um helpful for sure, but it is harder to, like, internalize that and be like, "For sure, this was not a thing." Like, I can tell myself that, and it's gonna take a while of me telling myself that. I'm so sorry, my nose is, probably the asthma, I don't know. But it's gonna take a while of me, like, repeating that to myself and really, like, understanding that before I finally am able to heal from that and, like, move past that and move according to the truth. Which again, the truth was I was never lazy, I was never fat. I have no idea what anybody else was on about. I wish I could go back to like sometimes I wish I could be like my own parent, right? To like accompany myself to school and like tell everybody there like, "Are you guys blind?" Um like, "Are you guys cuckoo in the brain? Like, why are you telling me that I'm fat? Are you projecting? Like, is this you being jealous? Like, I don't understand. Like, why are you telling me this when it's simply untrue, right?" Because it would be me as an adult and I would be taller than them and I would be able, like, to be scary. And it would probably hold more meaning if it came from an adult. I don't know. But then would that make things worse for myself, right? Because then I would be known as the kid who gets offended easily and the kid who has to bring their mommy to school every single time they get told that they are conventionally unattractive or whatever. I don't know. It's just like thoughts that I've been thinking about as I've been remembering that part of my life. But anyway, my mom has asked me to help her with the TV, so I'm going to go ahead and go. And thank you for watching this live stream all the way through if you did. And yeah, so those are just the updates. Initially, I was only supposed to update you guys on the merch, but you got a whole backstory of me. I hope you enjoyed learning about my past or whatever. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next live stream, but also in the next episode. Bye.